and gentlemen, good morning. To look into a particular bill. This bill is a bill for an act to internet users in Nigeria from infringement of the sponsored by Honorable Dr. Chukwuemeka. Will give a brief synopsis on this hearing going on, and members be a part of the chairman of this committee to give his welcome address. The chairman, sir.
The deputy chairman of the House Committee on Telecommunications, Honorable Chukwuemeka Ujam, our distinguished stakeholders, I've seen very, very distinguished Nigerians. I will not mention their names now, but in the course of this event, we recognize you. But I must say that we are particularly glad that you are all here today to honor us in the House of Reps at this occasion. Today marks yet another historic moment in our legislative function as we gather to not only brainstorm but add value to a bill that is to streamline the rights of every citizen through internet usage in Nigeria. I consider this as important largely because of the relevance of the bill that will bring and provide the needed reform and platform when users of the internet would positively impact on the lives of Nigerians and the growth of the country. It is therefore my pleasure to welcome you all to this public hearing on one, the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill 2016, which is listed as HB 490 in the House of Reps, Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is interesting also to note that the 8th session of the House of Representatives is committed to the respect of the fundamental human rights of every Nigerian citizen. It is the mandate of the House Committee on Human Rights to protect such fundamental rights of all Nigerians at home and in the diaspora. You may wish to know the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill 2016 was sponsored by Honorable Dr. Chukwuemeka Ujam, who is here. It passed through first reading on the 20th of April 2016 and second reading on the 22nd of June 2016. The bill is an ancillary document to Chapter 4 of our Constitution, which also includes in its section 45, 1 sub B, an understanding of how rights are not per se absolute if they infringe on the rights of others. The core objective of the bill is to protect the fundamental freedoms of every Nigerian online. The bill touches on important areas in the current digital environment, which includes data and digital privacy, lawful interception, surveillance, e-governance, freedom of information, opinion, and expression online in Nigeria. In June this year, the United Nations Human Rights Council passed a resolution condemning countries that intentionally disrupt citizens' internet access. The resolution builds on the UN's previous statements on digital rights, reaffirming the UN's stance that the same rights people have offline must also be protected online. The resolution later called on governments to promote digital literacy and to facilitate access to information on the internet, as it can be an important tool in facilitating the promotion of the right to education. I must say that is partly why we are here to input in the ongoing legislation to actualize this laudable dream. The internet, as you are aware, is a modern tool of technology meant to advance the prospects of man. It is one of man's discovery that has helped in advancing the cause of good governance and reduce millions of miles of human communication globally. Like any other means of technology, it is capable of being misused. Sadly, cybercrime has been on the increase. Hackers have continued to have a field day, and billions of dollars are daily being lost to activities of scammers. We must do something, and the time is now, to save our citizens from such hideous cybercrimes. In managing the prospects of the internet, it is necessary to also guard against its excesses and misuse, which is why we are here. This public hearing is a multi-stakeholder legislative engineering contributory approach geared towards a proper all stakeholders contributory debate and documentation of the prerequisites of securing the fundamental human rights of Nigerian internet users, and by so doing, effectively regulating the Nigerian cyber environment. This legislative exercise will provide members of the general public the grand opportunity of being involved in the process of the legislative engineering of this very vital online users protective law. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, and other distinguished stakeholders, let me say with optimism that the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill 2016, when passed into law, shall promote the protection of human rights of Nigerians online, protect internet users in Nigeria from infringement upon their fundamental freedoms, guarantee the application of human rights for users of digital platforms in Nigeria. This is a civilized, open forum and a dividend of democracy. We expect that stakeholders will make very useful and very brief contributions. Let me assure all stakeholders that after this legislative exercise, the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill 2016 shall be passed into law in no distant time, with the delight of all Nigerians and global lovers of freedom. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, distinguished stakeholders, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank Paradigm Initiative Nigeria, with members of the Net Rights NG Coalition, for standing with us in this exercise, and to all other stakeholders. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the public hearing of the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill 2016. Thank you very much.
PIN, and of course, one Minister of Education and coordinator of Mr. Messages from hearing open. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Good morning all. The Speaker, the Right Honorable Dogora, a keynote address delivered by the 8th of December 2016 at the conference room 231 New Building, House of Representatives. The Chairman, Committee on Human Rights, his Deputy, the Co-Chairman, Committee on Telecoms, ably represented by the Deputy and also the sponsor of the bill, Honorable Members, Executive Secretary, Human Rights Commission, Director General, National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, members of the 4th Estate of the Realms, our distinguished stakeholders, especially my dear sister, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, former Vice President, World Bank. You're welcome. It is my pleasure to be part of this public hearing today on the bill for an act to provide for the protection of human rights online, to protect internet users in Nigeria from infringement of their fundamental freedoms, and to guarantee application of human rights for users of digital platforms and for other related matters. Ladies and gentlemen, you will all agree with me that today's society is shaped by a sudden growth and development of information technology, which has resulted in a great dependence of society in a wider sense on individual knowledge and competence in information technology. Despite the growth of that dependence, human rights to education and information is highly restricted in areas of information technology. For lack of relevant laws, problems affecting society as a whole have appeared to have been creating gaps and distancing people from the main reasons and motivations for advancement opportunity. Today, To be a person who is not literate in computer means a person who is unable to participate in modern society. A person without opportunity and in spite of acknowledgement, necessity, and benefits of inclusive computer literacy. By, for example, the European Commission, UNESCO, OECD, there are lots of people worldwide, and particularly in Nigeria, with hindered access to computer and internet opportunity. Examples are persons with disabilities, migrant workers, and unemployed persons living in remote areas where internet and IT education is either not accessible or highly restricted or not protected. The internet has made our world a global village. Hitherto, this noble initiative, Nigeria never had the requisite laws that would protect Nigerians in this regard. As a result, latent criminals within and outside Nigeria have found solace in the usage of the internet to stealthily infringe upon the fundamental human rights of Nigerians. And this has resulted in the colossal loss of resources, properties, lives, and limbs by unprotected Nigerian victims. Literatures of civilized countries worldwide are enacting laws to protect their citizens and economies from cyber criminals. Hitherto, this initiative, Nigeria has never had the requisite law to protect human rights online. Suffice the imperative need for this bill. This public hearing will therefore provide members of the public the opportunity to be involved in the process of the making of this vital online users protective law. The bill for an act to provide for the protection of human rights online, when passed into law, shall ensure that Nigerians enjoy the following rights. 1. Provide for the protection of human rights online. 2. Protect internet users in Nigeria from infringement of their fundamental freedoms. 3. Guarantee application of human rights for users of digital platforms. May I crave your indulgence to refer to the legislative agenda adopted in the House of Representatives for the public hearing. There, we resolve to engage stakeholders in public debates on issues of national interest. We believe that by doing so, we will be giving Nigerian citizens the opportunity to bring forth legal, very pertinent, informed, and erudite views on all the aspects of the Nigerian economy and laws. Stakeholders could even come up with stronger arguments as regards why they think that prospective laws should not be enacted. Thus, the informed opinions of all the stakeholders present here today at this public hearing are very important and will form part of the inputs in this new bill, which I expect that all stakeholders will effectively debate and contribute to. By the grace of the Almighty God, I expect that at the successful implementation of this, all stakeholders inclusive legislative engineering exercise, this bill shall be passed into law as quickly as possible for the benefit of all Nigerians. On this note, honorable colleagues, distinguished stakeholders, gentlemen and ladies of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it is on my honor and privilege to formally declare this public hearing open. And I wish all of you very successful deliberation. God bless you all. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
When you look at the program in your hand, you see the next on the agenda is the introduction.
My name is Prince Otimi Agunsoit Committee. Thank you. I'm the Deputy Chairman, House Committee. Mr. Speaker, Honorable the Chairman of the House Committee. The Chairman of the Committee on House and Telecom. Thank you, and you're welcome.
Of the House be represented. All protocols duly observed. My name is.
It's not just we in the National Assembly that only sit down to draft the laws. This process that we're doing today is a public hearing, which is the stage after second reading of bills.
where we invite members of the public to come and contribute all their own quota too in the process of law making. I must tell you that the process gets enriched when members of the public participate, because there may be some other perspectives that will be brought to light or brought to bear, and we do not ever overlook the perspectives of the public. So that you've made time to be here today is part of your tight schedules. We're very delighted with you for that, and we assure you that all the memos you would have submitted or the contributions you are going to make orally here will add value to this bill. It's an important bill, not only for us in Nigeria, the memos, and then probably highlight some of the issues that are contained in the memos. But before that, we have to give opportunity to.
Of course, I would single out my elder sister. This bill, I'm happy that there's representation from various quarters. This bill went through the first and second reading, and there was a robust debate before it came to this particular stage. I must, for emphasis, I'm an academician because I have a PhD, so I don't believe in plagiarism. So I must single out PIN Nigeria for their excellent work. I believe I'm just their mouthpiece on this occasion, and that's the truth. So I don't want to take all the glory. I must give them that. So the long title is thus, a bill for an act to provide for the protection of human rights online, to protect internet users in Nigeria from infringement of their fundamental freedoms, and to guarantee application of human rights for users of digital platforms and/or digital media and for related matters. The short title reads thus. The short title says Digital Rights and Freedoms Bill 2016, HB 490. By the grace of God, I'm the sponsor, Honorable Dr. Chukwuemeka Ujama. Now, the African Union Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection of 2014 advocates for, by and large, three broad areas: openness, internet access and affordability, and then freedom of information. The Digital Rights and Freedom Bill is a proposed law that is intended to guard and guide the today's internet user in terms of his freedom, safeguarding his rights and his protection against any form of infringement. The bill is a 41-page document divided into 26 sections, including an interpretation section to conveniently convey the intendments of the proposed legislation. The bill is divided into 7 parts. Each part is to assist for ease of reference to any part of the bill. 1, the first part. The first part of the bill details the preliminary goals of the bill, which includes its objectives, application, i.e. those who the bill intends to directly affect, interpretation, and the short title. The second part deals solely with fundamental rights and freedom. Here, the bill focuses on the use of private data and what will amount to infringement in its use by also providing for expository explanations on what will constitute an offense by carefully defining them. The third part explains the offenses and punishments. The fourth part of the bill explains its mode of administration and enforcement, which will not only see the bill, when passed into law, as effective, but also ensure that it is optimally implemented. The fifth part of the bill also discusses jurisdiction and international cooperation on the bill. Considering the nature of the bill, in addressing digitalization, which is a major tool of globalization in today's world, this part ensures that an outward disposition is created for the bill when passed to help Nigeria compete favorably in